Sure, that's all good. Right, we're live. We are live. Right, Pete, thank you so much for joining me. First of all, I just want to say, what you've come out with when you came out, it was the exact timing for me, and it's been profound to listen to you. You've been in my ears from day to night. I haven't stopped listening to you. Anything that happens, I'm like, right, find the video and listen. Because like yourself, and I think you've said before, I spent about 15 years listening to other people. And I used to speak about the law of attraction. I've written books about the law of attraction, but I never really grasped it, never embodied it, it was always something missing. Even when I was writing, I felt good at the time and it felt like it was all the right information, but then it was like, but there's still something not quite there. And then you appeared. And when you appeared, I was like, it was like this, they say the penny dropped. I was like, wow, this is what I've been waiting for. And I remember standing there, literally shouting, I need to understand how this all works. It's time. And it was not long after that you appeared on my screen. And for that, I am profoundly thankful to you. I'm so thankful, because this is what it's about, just awakening to who we are. And you have done such a good job with the way you speak, the way you flow, the way your knowledge is next to nothing. There's no comparison to what you've educated me with. And for that, I'm just truly thankful. So, yeah.
Thank you. That was very kind. I'm so glad that I was able to be of service in your life. And yeah, I didn't just appear, you actually put me there. So yeah, that's literally all you're doing. And you're just using a reflection you call Peter to reconnect you with the wisdom that's always been within you. And one of the biggest things that have been missing throughout the whole law of attraction and a law of assumption and all this other stuff is we've been trying to manifest from an illusion. And this is the problem. We haven't been starting with the foundation of truth. And so really what you put me on your timeline to do was equip you with a solid foundation to start becoming manifesting from the truth, which is oneness. And from there, magic happens, because now you're manifesting from your whole self, not from some fragmented illusion anymore.
Yes, and I feel that it's what a shift that takes place. And I think before we go there, first of all, I think we're going to start with just if you can just describe to everyone what you do and who your audience really is, or what you're reaching out to, and what your agenda behind everything is.
Yeah, so my agenda is I have no agenda. I don't, and this is why I manifest everything I want, because my personhood has gotten out of the way. And once the personal agenda is gone, along with the person that had the agenda, once that's gone, then all of your dreams come flooding into your life. And this is what I do, is I just live out my dream. And my dream is to be the reflection that reminds everyone of who they really are, reconnects them with their whole self, which is everything. I remind people that they are everything and everything is within them, and that there's no chasing, acquiring, or even manifesting needed. We just need to get our little character, our human character, out of the way, and then everything comes flooding in, because it's been here all along. So I assist people to perceive, and perception is creation. Assist people to perceive that everything they already are everything they desire to be, and that it's all been here all along. And so when we perceive correctly that everything's already here, nothing needs to be chased, nothing needs to be acquired, and nothing needs to become, because you already are all that you desire to be.
And how does somebody really take us through, and how do you really embody that? Because somebody's there and they're saying, okay, I'm hearing what you're saying, but there is life and there is circumstances that take place. And some of them, as you've said, from the 144 oversoul, it's like you can have this life of absolute destruction, like craziness. And there's times within that period of time that you could feel there's no way out. And so where would somebody even begin to start with that?
Yeah, circumstances that arise for two reasons. Number one, to to set you on a certain course that you plotted out, by the way. So all circumstances are your creation. Nothing has ever happened to us. Circumstances are there, like I said, for two reasons. Number one, to set you on a certain course, to get you to desire a certain path, which is the path that you plotted. And number two, because they reflect our inner state of being, okay? And those two things coincide. They actually coincide because that's how much of a masterful creator you are. Everything is woven together intricately in a way that our human finite mind is not capable of understanding. But the circumstances are not accidental. They're all your creation, whether they were created from your higher aspects, your higher self and your oversoul, like these circumstances you incarnated into, or the circumstances that exist in your life right now as you're awakening to who you really are, the creator. Those circumstances are both working in your favor, believe it or not, including circumstances of I'm broke, circumstances of I'm homeless, circumstances of, I've got a narcissist trying to destroy my life. All these things are actually your creation and working in your favor. Now, when you awaken to who you are, you become the master alchemist, and you understand that everything is actually working for you and everything is your creation. Then you understand how to perceive those circumstances correctly from the highest perspective, and then you understand that they're the perfect launching pad for you becoming everything that you were always meant to become.
And it makes so much sense to me now. I mean, when I hear you, and I'm just like, I feel like I was having this thing the other night. I was sitting outside, and I just felt this energy come across, and I felt this interview happening, and all I could feel myself saying is, you're watching somebody awaken in front of you, because that's how I feel. I feel like every time I hear you, I get this lift that happens within me, and it's not via the mind, nowhere near. It's nothing to do with the mind. It's a feeling within me that I just feel like I'm awakening. And then I look at things and I go, okay, if I'm perceiving that in that way, then that's how I'm creating it. If I'm perceiving it in that way, that's how I'm creating it. So which one do I choose to put my focus on? But it didn't just happen. It's taken time. So no matter how much I've listened to and what I've done throughout my life, it's still taken a long time. So what would you say to the people who feel like they're not actually going anywhere? They're listening, they're hearing you, but they're hitting the same wall over and over again. And they're going, well, why isn't this working? What would you say to that, Pete?
The souls that are attracted to this work and this interview specifically, they're at a crucial juncture. If you would have drawn this to you, it's because you've had a lot of darkness, a lot of negative circumstances or undesired circumstances in your life, and that's because you're an older soul or a more advanced soul that's front-loaded your karma. A lot of us have gone through just nightmarish, hellish circumstances. I mean, I literally thought I was cursed for the first 5 decades of my life. Okay, and I mean, and up to just recently, I was like, when am I going to get a break? When am I not going to have a crisis in my life, right? But all of those things are like literally like a vice grip, squeezing all of the victimhood out of you, and then getting you to the point where you recognize that you're the creator of all these circumstances. Now, the what's required here to understand is detachment. Okay, we have to get some space between us, the creator, and us, the little us, the human character. We have to understand that the creator is not the creation from this perspective. It is actually all one thing, but in order to first get the detachment to take control of the incarnation, we have to understand that we are the higher self, we are the higher mind, and we're not the human character. The creator is not the creation. When we create this detachment, we understand that the creation, our human character is the creation of the creator. Okay, so we have to hold these two truths at simultaneously, and the ego mind can't do this. The false character can't do this. We have to do this from the creator mind. We have to understand that the creator is not the creation, and the creator and the creation and the act of creating itself are all one thing. Those two things need to be held simultaneously. This is creating from a multidimensional perspective. So only with the detachment understand that the painter is not the painting. Can we have the detachment understand that we're not the human character? It is our creation. And then as we zoom out, we'll understand that the entire reality is our creation, that the circumstances are our creation. The whole life plan has been blueprinted, okay, before you even incarnated, and it's all your creation. Now, when you have that understanding, and you can zoom out from the small person's perspective who's only concerned with what's happening right now, and you can zoom out, the more you can elevate your perspective, the more you can see the entire playing field, the more you are seeing from the perspective of your higher self. And the more you do this, the more you look at for patterns of the things that have occurred in your life, the more you see the synchronicities, the more you'll start to build intimacy with your higher self, the more you'll start to take the perspective of your higher self and even elevate it above that to the oversoul, which connects all of our higher selves and organizes your consciousness over an entire lifetime. There is something that a picture starts to develop that is grander than you could have ever imagined from your human finite mind. And you'll see how myself, Anthea, everyone's life plan is woven together that's watching this right now. And you start seeing this massive picture that transcends lifetimes. And then you'll start to understand the brilliance of your higher self when you take the perspective of the higher self and see the entire playing field of how the higher self is interlinked and our oversoul has interlinked all of our lifetimes over all these different epochs of time, of what we call time, although it's all happening right now. When you start to take the perspective of your higher self, the master creator, and your oversoul, you realize that no mistakes were made, no accidents were had. You are exactly where you belong right here and right now as you step into who you really are. And who you really are is everything and nothing at the same time. Again, holding two seemingly different or paradoxical, paradox is the thread of creation, paradoxical perspectives. Now you're creating at the multidimensional perspective, and now you are realizing that you are everything all at the same time.
Wow. It's just like, wow. It is, it's so life-changing in moving forward. And like you say, there is no time. So what I would really like to know is, during this journey for yourself, at what point did you come to a realization that you are everything and everything is within you? Where did that shift happen? Because like you say, there's been, 5 decades of pure crap, in that sense, or pure challenges after another. And you're like, when am I going to get a break? And I've said that to myself so many times. Or why me? So what was the change for you? Was it a sudden change? Was it slowly but surely you met somebody? What made your higher self actually guide you in that direction, would you say?
So it was a mental concept at first that I heard from two of my teachers, R.J. Spina and Daniel Scranton. I heard both say, you are everything. And then there was a remembrance right there. So at first there will be a remembrance, but it'll just be a mental concept. But now at least our reticular activating system, which we're now at least open to the possibility. Okay, what does that mean? You're everything. How can you be everything? What does that mean? As long as I've implanted this within your consciousness, at least a remembrance can start to form. So now we've got our reticular activating system open for you are everything, and now it exists as a possibility. Literally all the teachers on this planet are, whoever your teachers are, whether they're me, Anthea, R.J. Spina, Daniel Scranton, whoever they are, what they're really just doing is opening a possibility. Because until we understand something exists as a possibility, we're not even looking for it, and we will not find anything that we're not looking for. But as soon as we have our eyes open for a possibility, now it lands in the purview of our consciousness. Now we are open to seeing all the ways that we are everything. And then what we will start to understand is that all the darkest times of your life were the times that you were expanding, okay? You're having your heart broken, you being disappointed, you quote unquote failing because you put an obstacle in your path to redirect you. All rejection is redirection. All of those situations or failures or heartbreaks or shortcomings, they were all your creation, and they all serve to contract you and then expand you, because every time you contract, you expand. Every time you have your heart broken, it expands in its depth for capacity. So imagine a 100-watt light bulb, okay, but it wants to hold 1,000 watts, okay? You got to shatter the damn light bulb, and then you've got to allow it to expand, okay? Because we need to hold 1,000 watts. We can't do with 100-watt light bulb. We have to shatter the damn light bulb so it can hold more light. And so this is what happens. Every shortcoming, every failure, every heartbreak, every disappointment, every letdown, every setback was your creation, and it served to expand you. Now, when you truly understand how this works, you will understand that every single circumstance has served you. Everything you've ever experienced has served you. It has evolved you. It has expanded you. It has made you more of what you really are. And this is an infinite game of self-mastery. It never ends because you never end. And so you just keep expanding and becoming more of who you are until you realize that you are everything, and everything is within you.
And I suppose that was just beautifully said once again. So I suppose for you, it was, or how it becomes is what you're saying. The more you're expanding, the more you're understanding, or the more you're embodying, you start to meet the right people for, well, it doesn't, even if it's the path of on a downfall, you meet the people that are on that path with you and you can communicate with. So I suppose you start meeting the right teachers, and I know teachers is a word that you go, I'm not really your teacher because I'm you and you're me, which I love that concept, by the way. Or not that it's a concept, it's the truth. But so for you, you started to meet the people that will help you expand with yourself, and hence how you've got to this stage, because you know so much. Like, where does it all just come from? So this is where I want to really understand, is that from the higher self speaking that just gives you what to say, or is that a memory? Is that learning? What is it?
Yeah, so what you're hearing from my mouth is your words coming through your higher self, okay? Because what happens is, the way I became a teacher is I removed my human character out of the way. And now it's just whose ever higher self I'm connecting with is speaking now through me. That's exactly so you're hearing your own words, your own higher self, your own true self, your own whole self is speaking to you through me, because I've gotten my human character out of the way. That's how we become a teacher. We get our human character out of the way, and then divinity, which is you, just flows through. Okay. And then so you are connecting with exactly what you need to hear when you need to hear it. And that's how we become teachers. We get our human character out of the way, and then divinity starts to express through us, because we're no longer blocking the signal. And so once we remove the ego mind, which is really just an illusion, it never actually existed. We created this delusion that we are this human character with this story and all these limitations. So the more we get rid of these beliefs, these limiting beliefs, and all beliefs are limiting, so there's no even need to add that extra word in there, limiting, that descriptor. All beliefs are limiting. And once you've rid yourself of all beliefs that have been brainwashed into us by this deeply traumatized society, this deeply traumatized, fragmented, lower consciousness, low frequency society, once we get all the beliefs out of the way, what we're left with is tangible knowing of the truth. And what you'll realize is, once you get the beliefs out of the way, is that you've known everything all along. It's always been there, because everything is here and now. Time's an illusion that we created so that we can see ourselves in the act of overcoming challenges, in the act of creating. We created this illusion called time. It's a great illusion, but everything is here and now. You already are everything you desire to be. Now, this is what makes me different as a teacher, is that I start people from this understanding that I'm not a teacher, you're not a student, there's no such thing. I'm just a reflection of you. I'm a vessel by which divinity, which is your higher self, is speaking to you and reconnecting you with the wisdom that's already been within you. Now, when we get rid of the concept, the human concept of teachers and students, and we understand that everything around you is you, and that you are already everything you desire to be, now we've removed the whole process. We've removed all the steps in between that. And again, if all I'm doing is planting this seed within your consciousness, it shall expand, and it shall expand and expand, because at least now you have your eyes open for the fact that you already know everything, you already are everything, and everything you've always been seeking for outside of you is already within you. Now that possibility will begin to expand, and no matter however long it takes, it'll happen in divine timing, that you will awaken, you will realize that everything here is yourself, and that's self-realization.
Wow. And it's a beautiful thing to know. I can say from my own experience, just look, one of the things that you've said, and I have to speak about this because it was a profound moment in my life, and it was if you don't have it, you don't need it. And that, I was actually lying in the back of my car at the time, and I was in a bit of a state, and I was like, and I put you on, and I heard, if you don't have it, you don't need it. And I was like, and I'm looking around and thinking, all right, but I need a home. And then I was like, but I've got a roof over my head. I need to shower, but you do get to shower. I need this, but I do get to do all of these things. So actually, I don't actually need it. This is an experience, and this is a fun experience. Why are you taking it so seriously, Anthea? Like, you are the creator. Listen to what's being said. You don't have it, you don't need it. And once it actually allowed that to sink within me, it was quite amazing how the next steps were shown to me, and how things just started to work out so easily. And I just followed what was right, what felt right to me, I suppose. So would you expand a bit more on that concept of, if you don't have it, you don't need it, please?
Sure. Well, I'll start with this. You already have everything because you already are everything. That's number one. Now, if it doesn't exist in your current experience, it's because it doesn't belong there. Okay. That's what I don't have. If you don't have it, you don't need it means. It means if something is not in your current experience, whether it's a relationship or a car or a house or anything, or even a sense of safety, it doesn't belong in your life right now because you've already blueprinted your life and you've already chosen to have an experience that requires you to not have something present in your experience. It would actually preclude the experience from happening if it was there. So it's even something that your human character believes you need. Your higher self begs to differ. Okay, your higher self begs to differ. You've already charted out your life plan, the stream of your life, which is actually you. The whole flow of your life is you. You are this energy that comes through what you believe is your human character and just flows outward. The entire universe is being projected from within your consciousness outward. So you actually aren't just on the path, you are the path that you've blueprinted. And now as you flow, because the flow of life already takes you where to go, you will see eventually that every single situation you've ever had, every time you thought you were lacking something, every time you thought you were going through some terrible test or you were being punished by God, every single one of those experiences will serve you so, so well, because one of the things nobody talks about in terms of manifestation is not having your manifestation. The lack of your manifestation is the sure sign that your manifestation is guaranteed. But in order for you to appreciate what it is that's coming, you have to first experience the lack of it so that you could know what, because otherwise, if you were just born and then boom, you were handed everything, go look at people who were born with a silver spoon in their mouth. Look at how freaking miserable and suicidal they are, right? They never got to appreciate not having something so that they could understand what it means to truly have something, appreciate it, and then hold on to it. Okay, so not having your manifestation, this is one of the most life-changing things that anyone has ever heard. If not having your manifestation, if you can appreciate, and I promise you, because you're already a master, you will get to this point where not having something in your life will just show up as a signal, a sure sign that this thing is coming. And if you can understand that that's what it means, having any void in your life, it means it's a void that the universe is going to fill, then you can enjoy every single moment of your life. Understanding that everything is here now, and if it doesn't exist in your experience currently, it's because it doesn't belong there. And every single experience you have, including the experiences of so-called lack, are serving you. They are serving your ability to enjoy the thing when it does show up and then be able to hold on to it because you realize that it's been here all along.
And you know what? Wow, I can so resonate with that, because I remember that feeling of feeling like I don't have this, knowing that I couldn't physically just go into my home. But what you just said, in the sense of not having manifestation is a manifestation because it's coming, because that's why you don't have it. You can appreciate it. When I did walk into a home, the appreciation behind it was like, I just wanted to hug everywhere. I was like, thank you so much. And I knew it was coming. I could feel it was coming. But again, what we do, like you said, we create a separation in ourselves, and we have this human character, and the human character really believes that we need to have this. If we don't have this, it's all over. What we're going to do, end of the world, we're being punished, and all these negative shit comes out of our head. And then you go, well, actually, once you hear someone like yourself, you can actually put the pieces together and go, oh, okay, I get it. And as you walk and as you live each moment in your world, you can see that expansion and you can feel it, and and I can actually look back at every single one of my experience, because like I said at the beginning here, like you said, it's been quite, a harsh journey. And it's only now that I can look back at everything and say, wow, like I so appreciate every moment of that, because had I not experienced any of those in any moment in time, then I would not be sitting here right now. I wouldn't have had the urge in me to email you, even, like that would never have come. This moment wouldn't have been happening. So I find that it's life changing, it's life altering. It changes, and it doesn't change outside in immediate action there and then. It changes within you, and that within, I've felt and have lived that it changes on the outside because I've changed the inside. And that is something that, like yourself, I want everyone to be free. I want everyone to live free, live your best life day in, day out. Don't let these things bring you down, But obviously I can honestly say and put my hand on my heart that there's been many times where even though I've known it, I still fall into the trap of I do need it, or why is this happening? But I do understand for myself now that as time has gone on, it does change, and it's a beautiful, beautiful thing to experience this. So no, thank you so much for that. It's amazing. So yeah, so when we're speaking about living the wish fulfilled, what does that actually look like to somebody? How do they embody that? And I know you've spoken about all these different parts to it, but if we could just focus in on that a little bit more, how would you say to somebody to what's your first thing when they wake up in the morning to feel this way and be this way?
Okay, great question. Thank you, Anthea. This has been beautiful, by the way. You've asked phenomenal questions, and you've definitely brought the best out of me. Thank you so much. So here, this will be life-changing, okay? If you really let this in, it'll be life-changing. One of the most important things I do when I'm teaching people how to manifest, especially money, is to get them to relax their nervous system, okay? Because they don't understand that time is an illusion and everything has already happened. They believe they have to go chase, acquire, acquire or become something. And that's not true. That's all an illusion. Everything has already happened. Nothing happens. Everything's already happened. Creation is finished. It's the name of my book. And if you really want to have your life change, if you haven't read this book, please read it. It's life changing. Everything's already happened. Creation is finished. If I could guarantee you that everything you desire, everything that's been missing from your life to this point that has caused you so much pain, if I could guarantee you that it was absolutely assured, could you then relax?
Yes.
Okay. If you can just relax, now we've unkinked the hose of the endless flow of energy that you are. Okay. What happens when we believe we have to chase, acquire, or become something, or we're putting all kinds of stress on ourselves, what we're doing is we're taking the endless flow of infinite abundance that we are, and we're collapsing that hose. We're crunching it down. It's like a garden hose with a kink in it. Okay. And now the energy can't flow. So we're actually slowing down our own manifestation of everything we desire because we've collapsed the energy that actually collapses into form. So if I could just get you to understand that I guarantee that everything you've ever desired, that whatever you desire is given. In Mark 11:24, Jesus says, whatever it is you ask for in prayer, know that you've received it and it shall be yours. Jesus says, know that you've know that you've received it means it's already here, right? Again, I take you back to everything is here now. And you want the wisdom of the ages, the greatest metaphysician, go to greatest metaphysician of all time, Jesus, and understand that if you don't have it, you don't need it. And whatever you desire is given. If it's not in your experience right now, that means it's coming. So if I can just assure you that everything you desire is on its way, then I can get you to relax. And now we've unkinked the hose, and now the endless stream of energy, source energy that you are, can flow properly, and we can accelerate the time. Now, I'm going to tell you how to really collapse time, okay? So we've unkinked the hose now, and we've got the flow of energy going. Okay, now the particles of creation can collapse into form because we've gotten you to relax your nervous system. Okay, nervous system regulation is where I start with everybody. You have no idea how intricately interwoven nervous system regulation and deep relaxation is to the manifestation process. And it's everybody skips over it. Okay, so we start here, and that's where I start, and creation is finished. If I can just get you to relax and be assured that everything is on its way. Okay, now we've unkinked the hose. Now let's accelerate. Now let's push the gas pedal towards our acceleration. If you can, number one, be grateful for everything that does exist in your current experience. Okay, gratitude is the great multiplier. We can magnify what exists that we are grateful for in our life by being grateful for it and being consciously grateful and making an effort to have our reticular activating system open for what it is that we are already grateful for that already exists in our experience. Now, if we really want to hit the gas pedal towards our manifestation, now that we understand that everything is here now, and if it's not in our experience, it's because we just have to go through more experiences through this bridge of incidents that's going to get us there, but it's assured, it's coming. Now, if we can be grateful for it in advance, for it showing up in our experience, now we've hit the gas pedal towards our manifestation. This is one of the most powerful things that anyone's ever going to equip you with. So if you can do this, be grateful for everything that's in your experience from a relaxed, calm state where all the creation happens, and the creation is happening automatically because the flow of source energy that you truly are is always happening now that we've unkinked the hose. If you can be in grateful advance, knowing that it's guaranteed, right? Like a kid on Christmas Day, you see your gifts under the tree. If you can stay in that state, you will hit the gas pedal towards your manifestation, and you will be living the wish fulfilled.
Woohoo! That sounds great. That is the way forward. So there's so in between all of that, like the fact that everything is done and we've got a blueprint, we've already planned it, it's already there. So where does choice come into that?
So free will, we have a lot less free will. Okay, this is a huge topic. We have a lot less free will than we believe we do. Okay, does that mean you don't get to make choices? No, but you have to understand that your higher self is a magnificent creator. It doesn't make any mistakes. Okay, and your higher self is you. It's not something outside of you. It's who you really are. Who you really are blueprinted your life plan. Not a moment of it is unplanned. Okay, now built within that, remember, again, we're multidimensional creators now, so we're looking at this from different perspectives. Within, there's not much free will. You get, options here and there. Within that, there is also the ability to improvise in the moment. Okay, so we're all by the time you've attracted this interview, this discussion, it's not an interview, it's just a discussion between two reflections. By the time you've attracted this interview, you'll be at a point in your life where you've at least had a couple exit points. You've had at least a couple opportunities to check out of here, right? But you'd have decided to stay because deep inside you have a knowing that everything is about to come together for you. And when it does, you then have the power to improvise and then switch. And once you've fulfilled everything that you desire to fulfill on your life plan, you then have the opportunity to improvise, because I just taught you how to accelerate everything your way to everything you desire. You have a way to improvise and then completely shift your theme, your entire theme. So yes, we don't have any free will. Yes, you get little options. Yes, everything's already blueprinted. And at the same time, you can make improvisations once you've achieved everything you desire to achieve, once you've experienced everything you desire to experience. And I want to change the word achieve because it gets our ego mind working. Once you experience everything you desire to experience, because there's no achievement required, it's already within you. Okay, so I've got to be really, really careful with my language, because when the ego mind gets a hold of that word achieve, it thinks we have to acquire, chase, and become again. No, it's everything is here. We're just moving our conscious awareness, our attention from one page of the book to the next, but the book is already written. It's already done. It's already in the can, right? Because I want to make sure nobody comes out of that calm, relaxed state that everything is here and now. And now we can be fully present from one moment to the next. And truly, when we realize that we are a master, okay, especially if you've had like really difficult circumstances like Anthea and I, you know how masterful you are by how incredibly difficult the circumstances are. And again, I would refer to the souls that are attracted to this work. These are the way showers. They're the leaders and teachers of New Earth. They're the tip of the spear of higher consciousness. So they had to go through extremely challenging circumstances in order to show everyone what's possible, because the only way we teach anybody is by example. So understand that nothing was wasted. You are living exactly your dream life right now. And when you can come to realize that, we can be in a calm, relaxed state. We can hit the gas pedal towards, accelerate our way towards our manifestation. And we never come out of the act of creation. Okay. Because what most of us do is we set the GPS to go to the store. Okay, and then what we do is we stop and we get out of the car and we look how far we are from the store, right? That takes us out of the act of creating, right? So if you can just do what's tangible, what you tangibly know to be true, this is a teaching from my teacher. If you can do what you tangibly know to be true and expect no results, right? You don't need to expect results because the results are guaranteed, whatever you desire has given, right? So you're not getting out of the car every 5 minutes and looking, am I closer to the destination? No. You're constantly in the act of creating, which means you're constantly acting on your highest passion, which means you're constantly in the act of creating, which means you're constantly in a high frequency state of joy. You're never looking for a result. You have no insistence or assumption on the outcome, because that does this with the hose again. It starts collapsing the hose. When we have an insistence on how it needs to come to us, we're putting more limitations on ourselves. When the universe, which is you, the higher expression of you, can deliver you abundance from all angles. So when we've taken all the stress and all the misery and all the brainwashed conditioned mind, the hard work out of the whole situation, then we're constantly in the act of creating. We're constantly in a high frequency state, and the circumstances around us, when we get that this is really playtime,
I like
When we understand that this is all just playtime, then and we're in a calm, relaxed state, we're constantly in the act of creating too. The circumstances are a mirror of your state of being. When you're in the state of being of playtime, you will have circumstances that mirror back to us. Even when you're going through a challenging circumstance, at least you understand it's expanding you. It's always for your highest good, and it's only going to make you more infinitely wise, loving, and powerful.
I think I need a minute from that as well. Whoa. And you know what? It's what's so beautiful about what you just said. I just had a conversation earlier on, and we were just saying this is a playground. This is a playground, and it really is. But what's just come to me that I would love to understand, because this is one part that I haven't quite grabbed it yet, is you said in one of your videos, you create in other people's lives. Please expand on that, please.
So the you that I'm talking about has created not just your life plan, but everyone's life plan. Because the truth is, there's only one you here. And it's that one you is looking at itself through billions of different perspectives.
Right.
Me and Anthea, we might have different human avatars, but we're the same you looking at each other through different perspectives. Okay, so when you understand that the you that blueprinted your circumstances, blueprinted the circumstances in everybody's life, is creating the circumstances in everybody's life, now you can tap into another one of the biggest secrets of manifestation. Now you can start celebrating the success of others, right? Because you understand that you created the circumstances in their life, so you can certainly create it in your own life. And now the experience of jealousy and envy and, oh God, they have something and I can't, and it's for other people, that whole delusion disappears. You understand that there's only one self here. There's only one being here, expressing in different forms and different frequencies and viewing itself from these different perspectives. Now, when you understand that everything here is you, all of your fear goes away along with all of your panic and anxiety and all this other stuff, and it just vanishes. All these lower frequency states of being disappear. They become irrelevant because they're all illusions. And when you're operating from the truth, which is oneness, which is everything here is you, in the words of Neville, everyone is you pushed out. Everything, to be more accurate, is you pushed out. It's all you. It's all God. There's only one being here, expressing in different forms and different frequencies. And now in a single interview, Anthea and I have gotten rid of fear, loneliness. We've gotten rid of fucking low self-esteem. We've gotten rid of all the matrix programs. We deleted them all within one interview. I can just tell you, I'm like, God, we've covered a lot of ground on this. You really have brought the best out of me. And I'll tell you, Anthea, if this is your highest passion, then you were built for it.
I love it. I just love it. I wanted, you know what? It's like years of I understand now. I was in my own way because I was always having this thing of, oh, what do others think? Or maybe I won't be able to say it right. Or how am I ever going to go on a screen and speak? And there's so much bullshit that comes with it. But that bullshit is fabulous because it's what's brought me here today. So had I not had any of them, once again, I wouldn't be having this conversation right now. So thank you for clarifying. But one more little bit behind that I'd like to clarify here. So if I've created you and I've created everything and I create in other people's lives, how do they create? And I know what you're gonna say, we're all one thing, but I'm still not quite, if it's from so there's me and you here, right? But we're one. I get that. So then you've got somebody else down the road, one of my neighbors has also created they've created in my life, or we've all created at the same time.
Yeah, so it's all God. God is the only creator. There's only one creator. But that God has exploded itself out into all these different perspectives. This is what the scientists call the Big Bang. So God, this one being, exploded out into all these different perspectives because it had all these different individual desires to know itself, okay? Now, if you understand this, the desires that each signal perspective of God, remember, there's only one being here expressing in different forms, different frequencies, and viewing itself from these different perspectives. It's the same one being having all these different life experiences and trying to fulfill all these different soul desires that are unique to it knowing itself. Our desires are not accidental. Whatever you desire is given because that's the way source energy knows itself. It's the way God, source creator, knows itself through this pathway we call our desires. That's why as soon as you have a desire, the fulfillment of desires are the other side of the coin. Whatever you desire is given, in the words of Jesus. So That's what our desires exist for. They are avenues by which God knows itself in totality. Now, in order for God to know itself in totality, it has, because it's infinite, it has to have all these billions and trillions of, an infinite number of perspectives. Because God is infinite, it needed to fragment itself into all these different aspects so that it could know itself through this pathway we call desires. That's why I'm saying that that same being created all the circumstances in your life as the same being that created all the circumstances in everybody's life. Because again, in order to be powerful manifestors, we have to operate from the truth. We cannot build anything powerfully that's built on a lie. And the truth is that everything is one thing. It's the same one creator operating in all these different perspectives and knowing itself through all these different avenues that we call desires. And I want to make this very clear, because a lot of us still have this spiritual brainwashing about desires are bad or desires are evil, or we're not even going to get into the money stuff. We'll get into that another time. But that desire is evil. No, this is the way that God knows itself. Desires only exist as an avenue for God to know itself in totality. And that's why there's all these billions of different perspectives operating in all these different, through all these different life experiences. If they all exist for God to know itself in totality, because God is infinite, the number of perspectives and the number of experiences and the number of desires and the number of circumstances need to be infinite to correspond with that being truly knowing itself in totality. I hope that answered your question. Great question. That phenomenal question.
I don't even have words anymore like that. Yes, I get it. And it really has sat with me for a while. From the time I heard it, I was like, how does this even work? But what you've just explained is, yeah, I get it. I get that it's one thing. It was a bit like RJ Spina explained with the dough and making cookie dough and then actually putting it into, and once he split it and you put it, it's all changed because, or the octopus scenario where he's saying about the different, I can't think of what they're called, tentacles. Is that how you say it? Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, my teacher is brilliant with his analogies. He teaches everything through analogies because, he's an ascended master. So he loves the analogies. And yeah, I can't tell you how much that particular being has done to evolve my expansion. I'm posting a video. For those who want to know what's possible, when you have a true desire and you have a pure intention, I'm going to be posting a video, my first interview with my teacher, RJ Spina. It's going to be next Saturday. And you look at the Pete Sapper that was there 2 years ago, and then look at the Pete Sapper that is appearing in front of you now. That's what's possible when you have a pure desire, when you have a true intention, and when you really, really have a phenomenal teacher. What's possible in 2 years, the expansion I've made is almost inconceivable that I've ended up here in just 2 years. This is how fast it happens when you're taught properly and when you're coming from your heart space.
No, and I totally get that, because like I said, for many years, one person who I loved listening to was Abraham Hicks. I listened to her quite a bit, but there was, like I said at the beginning, there was always something that I wasn't quite catching. And one thing that I love that you say, and I believe it's also RJ that says this, and RJ Spina is some of his words are very, I don't quite understand them, so I have to stop and check what it means, because I never heard the word before. But what he was saying, I've just gone blank myself. Oh dear, I've just lost what I was saying to you. What was we just saying, Pete? What was we just saying?
You're saying you didn't understand RJ's certain words of RJ's?
Yeah, what was I going to say about him though? Oh, it's gone. Okay, forget it. It's gone. It will come back.
Yeah, the moment you stop thinking, I promise it'll come right back in, because the thinking is the block. Yeah, thinking is the block to knowing.
Thank you. Thank you. It's the thinking. You say it's a catastrophe to think.
Yes.
And when I first heard that, I was like, and all this time I've been trying to keep these positive thoughts going and saying to myself, no, don't think like that. Think like this. And then you come along and say, thinking's a catastrophe. And I'm like, thank you. I can do everything I can now to literally put myself at peace and look at these thoughts and go, it's not mine. It's not mine. It's not mine. And another beautiful thing that you guys have spoken about is there's no past, no future. And you've just arrived, no past, no future. And that has seriously helped me so much from each circumstance that's arose in my life. And I've looked at it as a very challenging, the perspective has been that it's very challenging, but I've been saying to myself, you've just arrived, Anthea. And then all of a sudden I can see the world in a new light. It's like everything looks pretty, everything looks beautiful, because I go, wow, look where you've just arrived. Look what's there. Look what's here. And I can really embody that. And I think that's an absolutely beautiful thing. So would you like to expand a bit more on the thoughts and what they actually, I mean, I know catastrophe is, it kind of says it all really, but could you go a little bit deeper into that?
So if RJ Master R were here, he would say thinking is faltering. Now, what that means is anytime you're thinking, you're not knowing. Okay, so there's two states of being in terms of our mental body being active. When we're thinking, we're trying to think of something. We are not knowing. Okay, so there's thinking and knowing. I want to make it very clear that those are two different states of being. There's thinking, trying to come up with an answer, and then there's knowing, which flows naturally through you when you're not thinking. Okay, so thinking is catastrophic because it actually is what's getting in the way of us knowing and flowing. Okay, there's knowing and flowing, and then there's thinking, the opposite. These are two opposites. One of the things that RJ Spina infused me with, and infuses anybody who's a true disciple, what he infused me with is a disdain for two things. Number one, thinking. I have a disdain for thinking. And number two, because I know it's not knowing. And number two, for limitations. And where all the limitations come from is the thinking. Thinking is what creates the limitations, right? So once the thought process is stopped because you pretend you just arrived here, no past, no future, the story you're telling yourself about how difficult your life is and how you can't do it and how you're not going to, that whole story just stops. The whole racket stops. And now you're operating from the truth, because the truth is you are reborn in every single moment. The way your higher self works is like a movie projector, okay? This movie projector is projecting, and your life is like a movie. It's projecting a new frame of the movie, literally every millionth of a second. So there's a new you being projected into physical reality every millionth of a second. So whatever story you have going on is literally you taking some past you didn't want to have and poisoning the present with it and then throwing it into your future, okay? So when we understand how physical reality actually works, and we understand that we are reborn in every moment, now we understand the value of pretend you just arrived here, no past, no future. We can get rid of the story, and we can stop poisoning the ever-present, the ever-new present moment, and then poisoning our future with it, and then limiting ourselves in our future. Any memories you identify with, you are literally, you're recycling your past. Anytime you identify strongly with memories like that's me, that happened to me, blah, blah, blah. This is why when you truly become awakened and understand your infinite, limitless nature, and you understand that you are reborn with every breath, when you truly understand that, you discard all stories, you let go of all stories. And once you let go of stories, now you have no more limitation programs running, because they all operate within the frame of these storylines, right? So this is why when you hear manifestation coaches talk about stories, tell a story about how your specific person loves you. Oh, they're just running a different type of limitation program. No, get rid of all stories and understand that every single moment you are a tabula rasa. You're a blank slate. And when you start from there, no past, no future, there's no thinking process going on because there's no storyline happening. And now you're truly unlimited in terms of what's possible for you. And make no mistake, baby, your true nature is infinite. Possibilities. Every single one of those possibilities, literally everything that's possible, they all exist within you now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's how great of a teacher RJ Spina is, by the way.
He's amazing. He really is amazing. I've listened to him a lot as well, but I'm more drawn to you. Like you, the way you explain things just really sits with me. But his teachings are, you can't deny the how phenomenal they are. And obviously you've learned so much from him too. And I feel like I'm there with you guys, just like absorbing, taking it in and embodying it and walking it and just knowing that actually I am everything is within me, and I am the creator, and there is nothing to ever worry about. And get over yourself, like literally get over yourself, because that's what it is. It's like you're people, a lot of us just want to feel sorry for ourselves in a very strange way, and like we go into this sinking thing of like, oh, and then you want to tell your friends, you want to talk, especially women, by the way, we all want to talk about what's happened, but actually, like you said, you're just bringing back stuff from the past, bringing it into where I am right now, and making shit for the future. And there's no need for that, because we've just arrived, no past, no future. Here you are. Where are you going from here? It's a clean slate in every single moment, and we're being recreated every single moment. So, I mean, how can you not be excited? How can you not feel like a kid on Christmas Day? And and it's quite funny because as I grew up, I was always being told, "Oh, Anthea, you're in your own world again." And I used to think, well, whose world do you want me to be in? And I was only like young, very young, and it always sat with me that people used to say, "Oh, get out of your world, ground yourself back to reality, get back to reality." It's like, well, I'm actually not here for. Yes, I live reality, absolutely. However, I like being in this bubble. I love feeling this way, and a lot of people do tell me you're very childlike in my ways, but I love that because that means I'm excited about life. I look at my kids when they were excited, and I'll be just as excited about things, sometimes even more excited than the kids. And they're like, "Mum, you're so excited." And I'm like, "Yeah, because we're alive. We're here. We're enjoying life." And I think when you've got that, for me personally, as feeling that way throughout my life, I think it has been a bit easier to be able to get through things because I've always got a new perspective to see how I can see things in a different way. And I'm open to be able to focus in on things that can feel good rather than spending the whole time going to things that don't feel good. And we're so programmed from beginning that I don't know if you can agree on this, but is it something like, let's say, somebody is 40 years old, they've done 4 decades here, and their whole programming has been up until then. It's going to take a bit of time before you get there because you've got to, I suppose, not deprogram, but relearn in a way. Would you say that it takes time to get there?
No, it doesn't take time. Now, this is a big mistake. Again, I'm a completely new brand of teacher, okay? I shorten everything. I literally, to take all the great teachings of my teachers and I fast track you, okay? And their teachings are all brilliant. Here's how fast it takes. How long does it take for you to understand that this is a dream and that anything can happen in a dream? Anything that tells you otherwise needs to be deleted. Anything that even smacks of limitation needs to be. The truth is, you're the entire reality. The entire reality is created of your consciousness. It's no different than the dream you have at night. So anything that tells you that something can't happen or isn't possible is a lie. It's a limitation. It's a belief. It needs to be removed. That's how long it takes for you to truly allow that to permeate your consciousness, that this is a dream and literally anything is possible. And anything that tells you otherwise is trauma-based mind control. So how long it's going to take to quote unquote deprogram is how long it's going to take for you to realize that this is a dream and that anything is possible. And that the way fairy tales work, the fairy tales we used to read as a kid, that's the way life really works when we get rid of all of our limitations, our self-imposed limitations. All limitations are self-imposed, and all of them belong to our fake character. So this is why I'm talking about, go back to the beginning of this interview, you become limitless when that human character, which is just a limitation program, moves out of the way, and you realize that the entire reality is you. This entire universe is you interacting with yourself. And when you understand that, all limitations and all shortcomings and all failures and all this other stuff, all these human concepts are deleted, and you can become finally who you really are, which is, again, everything.
Wow. So like I've just told a story of something. So is that me bringing it back, bringing it to my present now, or can we like, are we stopping? Like, okay, I just told you about the not the no past, no future. If you don't have it, you don't need it. And I told you a little story behind that. So what does that do to somebody when you've told that story? Has that changed my dynamics of moving forward? Have I brought that back into my existence by sharing that with you?
Not at all. So what you were talking about was a story about you being called childlike, which is, by the way, the greatest compliment anyone can ever give you, because it totally interlinks with what I just talked about. In the Bible, it says to enter the kingdom of heaven, which is the promised land, you have to be like children, okay? Which means you have to shed all of these lies that tell you're a limited being, get rid of all of this nonsense that says this is impossible and this is nonsense. Thank you, Master R, for infusing me with this disdain for limitations, right? Because once you have this disdain for limitations, then all self-limitations are shed, okay? And you understand that to enter the kingdom of heaven, you need to be like children. It's one of the greatest it's one of the, when people call me naive, when I like fall for another narcissist or something, and people tell me how naive I am, I'm like, that's the best compliment ever, right? Because it really is. It just means you're not tainted by the limitations and the darkness of this world that is trying to keep you small and weak and limited and trying to convince you that it's not possible for you. When you shed all those delusions and understand that you're the creator and there's only one creator here, and that creator is limitless because no name, no image, no form. And if it really helps you to understand and disidentify from your human character, if you can close your eyes right now and just imagine what it would feel like to have no name, no image, and no form. And now let yourself feel that. That is your true nature. No name, no image, no form, no limitations as the ultimate creator being, which is source energy.
Beautiful. So really, what we need to, what a lot of us need to do is look at children and see how they live with such freedom and such what's next. They're constantly what's next, and they just have this beautiful imagination. There's no one. Well, so another adult will be like, well, there's no one there. Who are you talking to? Then I'm talking to my friend. They can see. They have this open beautifulness. And I love that. And I feel like this with animals as well. You're around them and you just feel this calmness. Like they don't go around and think, oh, how am I going to get paid for this? Or how am I going to, they just get, it's just there for them because they don't search for it. Like you were saying, everything's within them and they've got everything they need there and then, and they got a knowing of that already. So it is just beautiful. Thank you. Just thank you for being here. Thank you for just like, to me, you appeared. And I know that's not the case, but that's how it felt at the time. And I can't thank you enough for actually coming onto our screens, for speaking what you speak, just the in-depthness of it, the knowingness of it all. It's just been amazingly beautiful. And I don't really know like what else to say other than thank you so much. Like you're just amazing. You really are. So thank you.
You're very welcome, Anthea. Thank you for having me. It's an honor. This is my privilege, my joy, and it's my responsibility at this point. It's exactly what RJ Spina did for me, and I'm just passing that on, which again is really why I incarnated because RJ's been my teacher in many incarnations, and he doesn't have enough time on his hands to be able to activate everybody here. So he activates who he's supposed to activate, I activate who I'm supposed to activate, and you, Anthea, will activate who you're supposed to activate. You watching this interview will activate who you're supposed to activate, and they are completely different souls than the ones that Anthea is going to activate, and the ones I'm going to activate, and the ones Master R is going to activate. So it's incredibly important to understand that all aspects of source energy, all aspects of God's source creator, are all responsible for a completely unique soul blueprint. So I can't activate the people that you're going to activate. And I can tell you this much, Anthea, you are in the same emotional state, the same feeling state that I was when I interviewed my teacher 2 years ago, where I was like a kid on Christmas Day. Now, if you can hold on to that state of being and understand that your whole life path is going to be joyous from now on, and that you are guaranteed to manifest what you desire, because whatever you desire is given. Your desire is God's desire. Whatever you ask for in prayer, know that you received and it shall be yours. And if you can stay in that calm, relaxed, childlike state, I promise you that everything you desire is given.
So beautiful. It's so beautiful. And that makes my heart sing massively. And I hope that anyone who's watching this, and I, like you said, obviously, you know, it hits different people, different stages of their existence to where they're going. And the people that listen to me will probably be different to the people that listen to you. And I think that's beautiful, again, because we're reaching more and more and more and more. And there's one thing that I can hear somebody that I know saying to me that had asked me from before, and I wanted to just ask you was, so obviously everything we ask for is given, and that is, now we know 100%, there's nothing to ever worry about, just know it's coming. However, when you've got loads of different things you want in your, not that you want, that you desire, I'm going to say, so there's like things that I know you said again, in making something important, don't do that, because making it important is like putting on a pedestal as such. So
It does
take
this for the hose, yeah. The endless flow of energy. When we make something important, we're doing this, okay? And we're making a declaration to the universe that we're lacking something, which we know is not true because everything is here now. So when we make something important, we literally take it from inside of us where it is and we throw it outside of us and say, I don't have this thing anymore. And the universe is a mirror. It only says yes. So if you're declaring that the universe that you don't have something, the universe only says yes. Okay. So it will then reflect back you not having something for an eternity until you realize that it's already within you and you stop making that statement. So yes, I'm so glad you brought that up. I can't believe I skipped over it. Importance is the number one blocked manifestation. And again, we got rid of importance from the beginning by coming into tangible communion with the fact that everything is within us now. That gets rid of importance. And then I made sure to double back and tell you that everything is guaranteed that you desire, because your desire is God's desire. Whatever you desire is given. Now importance is gone, eliminated, and now we've eradicated the number one block to manifestation. Thank you so much for bringing that up. Like I said, this has been a great interview. We've equipped people literally with everything they need at this point.
Yeah, including myself as well, yeah. Which is great. And yeah, so it's just like one last little bit though of if somebody wants, they've got a desire, they want to go forward, but there's like they want to do this, they want to do that, and there's three different things. Let's say for argument's sake, there's three things. Do they focus on all three? Do they focus on one at a time? How would somebody go about bringing? How would somebody go about things if they've got loads of different ideas? Let's put it that way. There's different ideas and they don't know which one to go for, but all of them excite them and they don't know, can they focus on all three at once? Not at the same time, obviously, but as in, is it a good idea to have one and then not think about it, feel it and bring it in that way? Or do you just stay at one at a time?
Okay, so you are a flow of energy. I'll bring you back to the fact that you're not the human person. You're actually the energy that flows through the physical vessel. Okay, we could use that as a focal point of consciousness. That flow of energy, if we're focusing on more than one thing at a time, we're dispersing the energy stream. Okay, so it's much more powerful if we focus on doing one thing, manifesting that, because now we're putting all our energy into that. Once all our energy goes into that thing manifests. Now we've got that thing in our experience. Now we can focus on something else. So you can focus on all three things at the same time, but you're going to slow down the manifestation process. Okay, right. And you're not going to be really as effective. What I like to do is I always tell people the same thing Bashar tells them: take action on the thing that contains the most excitement. Okay. Now I take this another step up. When you're talking about multiple desires, you want to focus on the one that's causing you the most pain not being in your experience right now. Okay. When we come to manifestation, I use pain, but nobody I know besides maybe one of my teachers, Joey Lott, understands the value of pain. Pain is a huge indicator on what you really want. So look at the thing that's missing in your life that's causing you the most pain and focus on that, because once the thing that's causing you pain has manifested and whatever your desire is given, once that thing comes into your experience, now we've removed more negative affect from the situation. Okay, because as long as we've got thing that's causing us pain and we're focusing on all these other things, we want to get rid of the stuff that causes negative emotion or negative affect to the best of our ability so that we're constantly in a high frequency state. So I would say I'll take it one step beyond Bashar and say focus on the things causing you the most pain, that if it existed in your experience right now, it would eliminate most negative emotion, most anxiety, most, hey, I'm missing something, most I'm sending a signal of I don't have it to the universe. Those things that dampen the joy of our experience. What we really want to do to remember that we're masterful is we want to cultivate joy in every single moment. And Anthea, you're so actually a great living embodiment of embodying a joyful state and cultivating joy as the real purpose, because that is the true purpose. And I promise you, if you can make cultivating joy your number one purpose, you will build a heaven on earth around you. It will just start forming around you, because the outside world simply reflects our inner state of being. So if you're happy and joyful and high frequency and childlike, the outer world, which is just a mirror, an extension of you, will reflect that back to you. It'll give you circumstances to be joyful and childlike about.
That's such a nice thing to know as well. It is a really beautiful thing, because you do see so many, and not so many. I suppose I don't really see people as much anymore because I just do me. But when I've seen people like really low, and you just think, I've been there, I've done that, and I don't want. I want my energy to be of goodness to everybody. I want to emanate the greatest of what I can, because we are here for joy, and I feel that, and I know that with freedom and joy and just pure goodness. Like I said, growing up, I always knew there was more, and the matrix system pulled me in, like, you've got to this and you've got to, and I'll be like fighting myself, and I'll be like, but it's not like that, and everyone will go, I'll just get back to planet Earth, like, where are you going with this? And I'd be like, I'd just go and quieten down. But now I feel like I can speak this, I can say it. I don't care what anyone says anymore, because they're all me. So anything that anyone's saying is because it's inside me anyway. So I can pat myself on the back and say, well, that's what was in you anyway. So it's all good. So we can move forward. And it's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful thing. And yeah, like, look, like you said, I manifested this moment in time. Now, in the last few minutes, I went into doubt, and I felt myself go, what if he doesn't turn up? And I was just like, no, don't be so silly. Why would you even put that in there? So I just bypassed it and said, all right, I got it. That's done. Pete's going to be here. And then you appeared on the screen. And I was like, told you, of course he's going to be there. But it's amazing how doubt can creep in. And if you don't know how to deal with it, how it can take people in a downward spiral. But everything you've spoken about, if people were to really sit down and listen to this today, I truly believe, and this was my intention, to be able to get out there what so many people really haven't quite grasped yet. And I wanted us to really expand on it, and so people can embody this. And you've just, as always, done the most amazing job ever. And I've understood things at a different level too. And I just hope it's worked for everyone else as well. And it's just, yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I think we've activated a lot of people together. Our energy is certainly activating, and you're, the energy that you kind of embody, this high frequency, joyful, childlike state is the perfect mode for creating. So if you can take what Anthea and I have activated in you and operate from that state, only take action out of joy from that high frequency state, you're going to accelerate your way to everything you desire, guaranteed. Especially if we're in a calm, relaxed state and we're being joyful and playful, and we're only taking action out of joy, we're not going to create any catastrophes that we have to clean up later.
Yeah, because catastrophes are not the way forward anymore. I'm done with them, Pete. I'm so done with them.
Yeah.
But actually, if anything comes up now, I know I'm in a different state, so it's going to be dealt with in a different way, and I can see I've got a different perspective to things. So whatever it is. And back then, I suppose I wasn't tooled up as I am now. I didn't know what I know today. So you got to say to yourself, it's all good. What you don't know, and you don't know until you know, and once you know. So that's really what it is, isn't it? So Pete, you were saying you've obviously Creation is Finished is the first book that you brought out, and excuse me for this because I couldn't remember and I couldn't find it, but you've got 2 other books that you've got in the making at the moment. Do you want to speak a little bit about them?
Yeah, so the second book is called Perception is Creation, and it's literally focuses on the creative process through perception. Because we do perceive the perception. The way we perceive any situation is the way we're going to create it. The way we perceive ourselves is the way we're going to create ourselves. And what we always want to do is, no matter what's going on circumstance-wise, we always want to perceive ourselves as the creator, because that's the only manifestation technique that works. We're not going to be able to manifest anything from victimhood if we're going through challenging circumstances and we forget that we created them, and we created them because they serve us and they get us to desire certain states of being or move in a certain direction. If we're coming from victimhood, we're going to be in low energy, and we're going to be completely disheartened as far as being able to transform the circumstances. So Perception is Creation is all about how we create and how we manifest, literally through perception. Just understanding, shifting your perception from I don't have everything I need to chase, acquire, and become it, to everything I want is already here and now. Just shifting that perception begins to change the reflection you're seeing in the outer reality. So it's about creating through perception and how the outer world or the universe is just a mirror of our inner state of being. And when we correct our perception, the reflection completely changes in the outside world. But that shift in perception has to happen within us. So that's what Perception is Creation is about. And I appreciate you so much, Anthea, for being so thorough and asking about this. I wouldn't have mentioned it otherwise. That book is in the works right now. And the third book is called Pure Alchemy. That's a book all about transforming, because again, I take you back to the souls that are attracted to this work have had extremely challenging circumstances. Okay, I don't know. I had never met anybody whose life was as difficult as mine until I started connecting with the members of the soul group, right? And then it's like, oh, it's par for the course with this soul group. This members, our particular oversoul creates extremely challenging lives. Why? Because they're all masterful. They're all advanced souls. They know they can handle it. And because they need it to be the living embodiment of anything is possible. You can overcome any circumstance. So yes, we all blueprinted lives of insurmountable circumstances, like literally out of the gate. There's been no days off to this point, but now you understand who you really are. Now you understand you're masterful. And now you understand that God, which is you, never gives you more than you can handle. So that's what Pure Alchemy is about. It's about being able to alchemize and embody the example, the living example of being able to alchemize any circumstance. Because anytime I work with people or they listen to my work, the first thing they're putting their power in is external circumstances, right? Mm-hmm. So from now on, we're going to see that all circumstances are our creation. They serve us, and we'll be able to alchemize them and do that as a living embodiment example of what's possible for anybody. And that's why we gave ourselves the most challenging circumstances, because we needed to be the living embodiment of anything is possible. There's no such thing as a problem too big. There's no such thing as a challenge that's insurmountable, especially for this masterful group of souls who are going to embody the living example of that for the rest of the planet. As we're the first to awaken, we're going to be the first ones to have extraterrestrial contact, and then all of this plays into a much bigger picture of being the leaders and teachers of New Earth. And everybody who's watching this, make no mistake, is the leader and teacher of New Earth. I am just the one that activates them, but you are the leaders and teachers of New Earth.
Yeah, and yeah, it's just beautiful. It really is. We obviously humanity needed you and I. They needed the 144 oversoul to be here. I really do. I really know in my heart and soul that everything that's been experienced so far has all to be shown that anything is possible. And I think that is the biggest part of this, is anything is possible. Never limit yourself. Never, ever limit yourself. It doesn't matter what anyone else says. And if you know, like you said, and creation, we are the creators. We're the creators of, we're the directors, we're the creators, we're all of it as one. Then we can take this and really mold ourselves into something that we really know we are becoming, rather than feel like nothing works out, or this isn't working out. And if it doesn't work out, then then something else will come in place to help you work it out. But just don't fall short of it, because actually we can have anything we want. And that is a beautiful way to wake up in the morning, and just know that in the morning, knowing when you wake up, I am the creator. What do I want to create today? Or what can I do today that's going to help me stay in a good feeling state? And I think that is a beautiful way to live, and very life altering. So again, I can't thank you enough, Pete. I really can't. I don't, it's like I lose the words, because it's a feeling. It's not about words. It's just the feeling that comes around for me. And it's just very thankful. So,
you're welcome, and that's what we want. We want the feeling of the wish fulfilled. That's what we want, because it's about a feeling state. We are a feeling-based being, and we have to feel something for it to be real. And so if you can understand and stay out of your mental body and understand that tangibility is where it's at, the consciousness needs to feel things to be true. So we need perception, proper perception, and my book Perception is Creation is going to correct all of our perception. And then we need feeling, we need tangibility. We need to feel it to be true. So we need to perceive that everything is within us now. And as soon as we understand that it's within us now, we can perceive clearly, we'll start feeling it And once we start feeling it, that will become a tangible knowing. Once that becomes a tangible knowing that everything's within us, it'll be projected on the screen of consciousness and be our direct experience. And so Anthea and I have pretty much given everybody everything they need to manifest the life of their dreams at this point. Anybody who wants to take it deeper can, and like really become an expert on this or wants to teach manifestation, they can take my Magnetic to Money masterclass at Become Magnetic to Money. I'm sorry, forgive me. It's magnetictomoney.net. I forgot my own website. It's magnetictomoney.net. And then in September, anybody who wants to work with me one-on-one in September, I'm going to start opening up personal consultations again. Because of the 2 books, I've had to put that on hold, but you can go to petesapper.com if you want to work with me one-on-one. Otherwise, take the Magnetic to Money masterclass and be the living embodiment of how to manifest the limitless wealth and abundance that is your birthright.
And it really is our birthright, because we are absolute abundance. And
Absolutely.
It's amazing how our mind will try to look at what is in front of you and say, oh, but there's this numbers amount in a bank account, and actually it means nothing. It's just a memory or a note or something that's already happened that no longer is, and you can change that in every moment, knowing your abundance, knowing who you are, knowing you are the creator, knowing everything is within you, knowing just all these little nuggets together, and you put it together, you can say, well, actually, I am abundant. You don't need to have the evidence bang in front of you in that moment to know that. And I think that is something that people have struggled with. And I know in the past I have, but knowing what I know today, there's no struggle. It's just all being embodying, shall I say, and knowing. And that is something quite profound and beautiful.
You know, a lot of people struggle because they can't see it. Okay, now our physical senses run on a data stream that includes 0.003 of what exists in the quantum field. So we are completely blind. We can't see the vast majority of the greater reality. We're completely blind to it because our physical sensory perception only picks up 0.003 of what exists in the quantum realm. So of course you're not going to be able to see it. Your physical suit is so limited in that tiny data stream that it's able to perceive as far as all the light that exists here. It only perceives a tiny spectrum fraction of the actual light that exists here. And everything here is light. Everything is energy. And then you're the sentience that commands that energy. So when you understand that it's all here and now, because everything consists of just energy and you're an energy being, then you understand that we're missing, when we're using just physical sensory perception. This is why being present and meditation and meditative states of consciousness are so important, because as we are present, as we get out of the constructs of past and future, we begin to start perceiving more with our 5 physical senses. We begin to perceive more and more of what's in the greater reality. And then suddenly it's not such a struggle to believe or know, I'll go beyond believing, know that everything is here now. The more present you become, the more you'll be able to feel that everything is here now and that it's all within you. The big secret here is mastering the present moment. The more you're present, the more you're not in the concepts. We don't become delusional by creating a delusional past or an illusionary future that doesn't exist, which are creating rumination and depression or anxiety. And then we collapse the hose again, because as soon as we're stressed out, we start collapsing the hose. When we're not doing that to ourselves, we're not torturing ourselves by conjuring up the past and future. We're completely present. The more we do that, the more we lock ourselves in the present moment, the more we'll be able to, we won't need to perceive it. We'll be able to feel it, that everything is here and now. It's incredibly important what I just said. It's why mastering being present is essential. And make no mistake, that's real meditation. Being locked in the flow state, locked in the present moment, that is constant flow state meditation. And when you do that, you're a master.
We get there. I love it. It's great. Thank you so very much. So anyone wants to find you, as you said, it's all, I'll let you give all the details of all your social media, where you can be found. If anyone wants to reach out to you, please give us all details.
Yeah, so the only things that are important at the YouTube channel is Pete Sapper 144. Pete Sapper, Creation is Finished. The book, I would say the best place to start, if this piques your interest, is Creation is Finished, the book. You can get it on Amazon. And it's on Audible now. It just came out in audiobook format. If you hate reading as much as I hate reading, you can listen to it on Audible. The other thing is the personal website is petesapper.com. If you want to work with me one-on-one, I'm taking appointments starting in September. And then the Magnetic to Money Masterclass. If you want to truly want to be a leader and teacher of New Earth, and you want to learn how it's done, how manifestation actually works, step by step, the processes and the practices to become a master manifestor, and then be able to embody that as an example, and then be able to teach that, just go to magnetictomoney.net. I'm constantly updating that program, and I will never stop. Every time I get a new download, I upload it in there. It is the best money course out there. It's at a fraction of the price of anybody else's money course, and that's for a reason, because I know I'm training the leaders and teachers of New Earth, and I want to make it affordable for people, because most of the money courses I took, they were thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. Like, the people who need those money courses can't afford them, right? So I try to make it as affordable as possible. And if you get in there now, it's $200 for the entire course. There's all kinds of bonus stuff in there. I'm going to be constantly adding it, adding content to that. So Magnetic to Money is where it's at. If you really, really want to master money manifestation and take and unshackle yourself from the slavery of the debt slave system, which was created, the monetary system was created to enslave us, to keep us small and weak and limited, and convince us that we're not good enough and not worthy, which then collapses that hose again. If you want to open up that hose and experience the limitless abundance that you are, go to magnetictomoney.net and take that course. But that's it. You've done a phenomenal job of bringing the best out of me, Anthea. This was by far the best interview I've done. And it's because I'm working with somebody who's in a childlike, joyous, wonderful state. And that, of course, is contagious.
I'm so happy to hear that. I'm so happy to hear that. No, thank you. It's just been beautiful that you took the time to be here with me today. And you've answered so much that, has been niggling away at me. So again, it's life-altering, life-changing for me too. And I just hope that has emanated out to everybody else. And this is really, people can really take this work on board and really embody it, get it out there. Let's get everyone out of the fucking matrix system, man, and get it anxious. Sorry, but
amen to that.
Let's just live and live the best life. So next for me actually is your Magnetic to Money Masterclass, because I haven't actually done that one yet. Well, I haven't done any of the courses. Shame. So yeah, I will be taking that, because I think you've probably seen on comments before, I see you and I just see me, and I just want to, I love the success that you're creating for yourself. And I don't mean in money form or anything like that, just embodying who you really are and be able to put that out there. And that's for me what it's about. And that's what I see myself doing, and that's where I'm going now. And I think I told you I don't know where I might have said it, but I walked away from my job that I was in for like 9 months, and I was like, this is living hell, man. This is not for me. I'm not doing this. And you helped me to be able to take that step forward, and with everything you speak about and everything I've heard, I took it on, and I said, you know what, this is time. It's time to move past this, and we don't need to be stuck in this system. And I am the creator, so actually I get to decide what comes next. So be it. Let's do it. So here we are. And the next step for me was here with you, and it happened so quick and so fast. And even though time's an illusion, I can say I felt that energy move. And I could do this all day. I could just sit here for the rest of the day and all night and just talk. But obviously we're not, but that would be the most amazing thing ever.
That's beautiful. I'm so happy that it's brought you so much joy, and that's wonderful. If we could just stay in that state, we'll get everything we desire.
Excellent. Get everyone in that state. Let's go. So yeah. All right, darling. Listen, thank you again. And hopefully we connect again. Maybe we'll find something else that we can agree or maybe like speak about again in the near future. That would be amazing. And I'll definitely be part of the Magnetic to Money Masterclass, because that just sounds phenomenal again. And you have, it's only, what time is it for you? It's quite early for you, isn't it? Like your mid-afternoon. Yeah.
It's 1:30 here, but my battery's just about to die. Because we went for about an hour and a half. Yeah, you had a lot more energy than I did, so which is great. It's wonderful, because we got so much done. We did a phenomenal interview. You really brought the best out of me, and I appreciate you so much, sweetheart. You can follow up with me anytime, and let me know what you think of the money course. I'm always adding new stuff to it, and you come up with an idea or you think that something's missing in there, please let me know. I get all of my best ideas from my audience.
Excellent, excellent. Okay, I'll definitely stick with that. I'll definitely do that. So thank you again, and you have a phenomenal rest of your day.
Thank you, darling.
Thank you as well, and I'll see you soon.
Bye, darling.
All right, take care. Bye.